Hey guys, it's Carson from Collectible. Here we're talking about one of my favorite cars today. It's the Corvette C5, and we're going to discuss some of the differences between the base model and the Z06 that's over here. So starting with the front end, we can see that the base model, this particular one, has the optional fog lights down here, but it does not get the mesh grills that the Z06 does. Now, don't mind this is aftermarket, someone's done this. Stock of a Z would look something similar to that. Now, I will say this particular car here is the 50th anniversary. However, on a Z, it really doesn't get you much besides different badging on the front and rear. Otherwise, the cars are the same. So both cars do also feature actual front brake cooling ducts, and these are functional. However, the Z06 only gets it on the rear, and we'll show you guys that in a minute. We'll move a little bit farther back here. The base and the Z both get the same actual brakes. However, the Z does come painted red front and rear versus the natural color that comes on the base model. Both come with 17-inch wheels in the front and 18-inch wheels in the back. The Z does get wider wheels front and rear, though, than the base does. And the base had several different wheels that you could get. These are some of the earlier wheels, and the Z only had one wheel option that was made by two different companies, Alcoa and then later Speedline, but the same design wheel. We'll move back a little bit farther. Obviously, the Z gets the Z06 badge on the side, whereas the base does not. And probably the biggest difference between the two that's obvious is the base gets you the target top here, whereas this is a fixed roof coupe. So in '99, GM came out with the fixed roof coupe. It was a base model Vet with stripped down features and a stiffer, lighter weight chassis. And then in 2001, they revised that to make it the Z06, which is the fixed roof coupe, plus the engine upgrades and other things as well. The engine, you get the LS6 instead of the LS1. They're both the same block. However, the LS6 gets a better intake manifold, the better 243 heads, and a hotter camshaft to make about another 50 horsepower over the base model. There's also some secondary differences underneath. We'll show that to you guys later in a minute. And so that concludes most of the exterior differences between the two cars. So now we're going to get the Z06 up on the lift, and we're going to show you guys the differences underneath where it really makes the most difference. All right, guys, now we're underneath this C5Z. We're going to start off in the front here. You can see the power steering cooler is a nice touch for any guys doing any kind of track work or autocross work. The stock base models can cook the fluid and get really hot, take out your rack or your power steering pump. So definitely a nice touch. You can see right here we have our thicker, stiffer factory leaves. And also at the end on both the base model and the Z, it's 4-corner height adjustable. So you can dial that into the exact look you want. We also have our thicker Z sway bars. Nice touch and handling. Moving back, we got the Batwing oil pan. A lot of the later Vets got this, including the Z. This is the best wet sump pan for an LS, hands down. You can take this out and put some baffles in here, and then these things really control sloshing and work great on the track. We're gonna keep moving back a little bit. We can see our stock cat system right here. This is an aftermarket X pipe, so this is a nice touch instead of the stock H pipe, but both the Z and the base both just have an H pipe in this area. Moving back, another nice little upgrade that's pretty much a given on a C5 is the skip shift eliminator. So this is actually the skip shift eliminator harness, and it looks like someone's actually gone back and undone it completely. They must have tuned the computer to delete that. If you guys aren't aware, what that does is it's a fuel economy thing for GM to make the fuel economy of this car look better on paper. It helps them with their CAFE regulations. They actually force you to shift from 1 to 4 under about 20% throttle. So that's really annoying when you're driving. No one really cares about gas mileage in their Vet. So you can either buy this little cable or tune it and unplug it like this person's done here. Moving on, we can see our rear sway bar. This looks to be a stock size. Someone's just painted orange, but nonetheless, it is thicker than a base model. And a really cool touch that the Z's got is actually a titanium axle back. So from this flange here all the way to the tips, this is all titanium. I just want to say it's about 17 or 20 pounds lighter than the base steel exhaust. And this one right here is really cool touch. This is the bypass mod that's really common. And so you actually buy this titanium, have it welded in, and then that just opens it up just a little bit so it sounds like a Vet should, but not ridiculously loud like a lot of the aftermarket exhausts. All right, guys, that concludes our comparison video of the base Vet and the Z like this one. Hope you guys have a good one.